day everyone, I'm Shella Candole from BSBA 2 3rd schedule, and for this video, I'm going to discuss about the supply theory. Supply theory or theory of supply, it is defined as the quantity of goods or services that producers are willing and able to supply at a given price in each time period. It is the quantity of a good firm offers to sell in a market at a given price. It is about the amount of a good or services that the producers or providers are willing and able to offer to the market at various price during a period of time. And then supply refers to what is offered for sale and not what is finally sold. Supply is a flow. It is a certain quantity. It is per day or week or per month. For example, let's say that the price of wet rice, hence it becomes more profitable for firms to supply wet as compared to corn or soya bean. The supply of wet will rise, whereas the supply of corn and soya bean will experience a fall. Hence, we can say that if the price of related good rises, then the firms increases the supply of the goods having a higher price. This leads to a drop in the supply of the goods having a lower price. Supply. It is supply curve of the firm may be derived by the points of intersection of each curve with successive demand curves. Meron ako ipapakita na graph, which is ito. So, this curve segment provides an analog to the demand curve to describe the best response of sellers to market prices, and it is called the firm supply curve. As is down with demand curves, the convention in economics is to place the quantity on the horizontal axis and price on the vertical axis. So note that although demand curves are typically downward sloping to reflect that consumers' utility for a good diminishes with increased consumption. So firm supply curves are generally upward sloping. The upward sloping character reflects that firms will be willing to increase production in response to a higher market price, because the higher price may make additional production profitable. Due to differences in capacities and production technologies, seller firms may have different firm supply curves. It is a tool used by economists to measure the relationship between price and quantity of goods supplied. It is also known as supply curve. The supply curve is a graphical representation of the law of supply. Function describes the effect that changes in one variable have on another. So supply function can describe with three variables, which is price, quantity supplied, and marginal cost. The supply function is also known as supply curve. The supply curve is a graphical representation of the law of supply. It shows that relationship between price and quantity supplied at a given point in time. So, law of supply. Law of supply is the microeconomic law that states that all other factors being equal, as the price of goods or services increases, the quantity of goods or services that suppliers offer will increase, and vice versa. So, law of supply says that the price of an item goes up, suppliers will attempt to maximize their profits by increasing the number of items for sale. TV. So, if the price of TV increase, TV producers are incentivized to produce more of them. Likewise, other companies may be induced to start producing TVs. This will increase the overall supply of televisions in the market. At some point, the abundant supply will tend to cause prices to moderate and fall. Surplus. It is the difference between how much person would be willing to accept for a given quantity of good versus how much they can receive by selling the good at the market price. The difference or surplus amount is the benefit of the producers receives for selling the good in the market. So, a producer surplus is generated by market price in excess of the lowest price producer would otherwise is willing to accept for their goods. Surplus, it can identify how much they might earn by selling a higher quantity of products. So, for example, if the market value of dress is 500 pesos, but customers pay 1,000 pesos, the company may have the additional funds to produce more of that item and earn a profit. Let's discuss about the industry supply. So what is industry supply? Industry supply curve is the horizontal summation of the supply curve of the individual firms. Let's assume that the factor prices and the technology are given at the number of firms is very large. Under these conditions, the total quantity supplied in the market at each price is the sum of quantities supplied by all firms at the price. Graph, it shows that the industry supply as a straight line with a positive slope. It should be noted that the particular shape of the market supply curve depends on the technology and on factor prices as well as the size of distribution of the firms in the industry. Let's discuss about the three types of industry supply, which is the industry equilibrium in the short and long run, zero profit, and rental rate and price. Term equilibrium of the industry, it can vary lowered by economic profits earned by the existing firms in the short run. The new firms will enter the industry and compete away these economic profits, and thereby all the firms will be in long-run equilibrium. Market is in long-run equilibrium industry when prices have fully adjusted to production cost and the economy functions at its full potential. In long-run equilibrium, unemployment drops to its natural state. When this occurs, an economy is using all of its resources and its actual GDP will be equal to its potential GDP. So this involves a gradual process in which businesses adjust their prices and wages in reaction to long-term or permanent changes. Profit. In economic competition, it is the condition that occurs when an industry or type of business has an extremely low cost of entry to or exit from the industry. So in this situation, some firms not already in the industry tend to join the industry if they calculate that they will make a positive economic profit. More and more firms will enter until the economic profit per firms has been driven down to zero by competition. Firms are making negative economic profit enough for firms will exit the industry until economic profit per firm has risen to zero. And price. So according to the Ricardian theory, rent is a surplus above cost. It does not therefore enter. So enterprise price depends on the cost of production on the marginal land which is not rent land. In other words, rent is not included in the cost which determine price.